Welcome to Local Golf and the Country Club of Fairfax. This is Steve Loescher, the assistant professional here. He's also the head golf coach at George Mason University. Steve, good to see you again.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Well, we're going to talk about something. This is a common situation in golf where you play a few holes and they're relatively open and the tee shot's not so much of a concern. But then you find a hole like this where the fairway begins to close in on you, and what is actually relatively wide appears a lot narrower than it is. Let's start with, what are the mistakes that a lot of us make when we come to that narrow driving hole?
Well, I think one, obviously the nervousness of the tightness of it. You start to be too concerned with everything around you and not getting the ball into the fairway, which is a first negative thought. Thinking to yourself, I don't want to go right, I don't want to go left, whatever the situation is. And then I think that had a tendency to make it worse on you, as far as before you even hit the ball, you've already kind of talking yourself into trouble.
Yeah, you're really kind of maybe focused on what you don't want to happen, and you're saying kind of focus on what you do want to happen.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, all right, let's focus on what we do want to happen. We want to get the ball in the fairway. On a hole like this, as a professional, what do you think about?
Well, I think about that exact thing. The priority is to get it into the fairway. That's the first and most important thing, is to get the ball in the fairway and give yourself a shot at the green. So I am more than happy to give up distance to get the ball into the fairway so that I have a shot at the green. That's what it's all about, is giving yourself opportunities.
I noticed that the club head you've got there is a little smaller than the driver, so you are sacrificing distance. You're actually influencing your club selection.
Yes, the term, if you want a term that you want to get in your head, is that when you have a narrow hole and you want to give up distance and just to make sure it gets in the fairway, so to give yourself an opportunity, you want to take what the term is, your longest, straightest club. Okay, if that's a 2-iron, then that's a 2-iron. So 3-iron, 3-iron, 3-wood, whatever it is, take what we call your longest, straightest club. If it's not your driver, then that's not the club you want to be hitting.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Your longest, straightest club, the swing's the same.
Right.
And a hole like this, where it's tight, what's your natural shot pattern?
My natural shot pattern is a little left to right, just the slightest little fade. So I'm just going to try to keep it down to the left side a little bit. And in the same context, I want to aim somewhere where if it goes straight, it's going to be fine as well. Okay. So if it, where you're aiming, to try to deal with what your shot pattern is, make sure that you aim in a direction that if you do hit it straight, you're still going to be okay. Okay.
Well, that's talking about it. Now we're going to do it.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.